welcome to a first for me. It's a live. I hope it's live. I'm gonna have to go check using another device, but bear with me. I'm sure there's no one in the chat anyway. Yeah, I can see on my device Baa-Ram-Ewe podcast is live. That's amazing. I've managed to work it out. Now I know I'm not old, although I feel it. I'm not tech savvy, so I've managed to somehow get myself live, which was the goal, so yay me. So this is a follow-up to a video I did, I think it was over a month ago now, on Diogo Jota. It's a different topic that what you're used to from me, although I have been missing for the last couple of years. Decided to take a break from conspiracy and podcasts and politics and just refresh and I'm not saying I'm back, but I'm really enjoying learning about my favourite topic, which is gematria, numerology in regards to sports. More importantly, football. I know people in the UK, that's probably the main sport. In America, it would be NFL, NBA and things. But what I'm about to talk to you about today is something that affects all sports, in my experience. I do suggest you go and watch the first video, and it goes into a bit more depth on what this is, and I will be doing that with you today. So hopefully, in fact, I should probably go and look. I'm sure there's no one in the chat anyway, but if you are, thanks for joining, and bear with me while I make sure that things are looking good. Yeah, we can see we're up and live, and you are seeing what is on my screen, which is the goal. That is what we would like for you to be able to see. This is an exercise that hopefully I can pass knowledge on to yourselves, and then you can do this stuff for yourself, because it's not you don't need a degree or anything. You just need to download an app or two, or use the website version of the website I'm about to show you. Yeah, I'm just going to share this live with a few people, and we'll see how we'll go from there. I hope everyone's doing well, and it is a beautiful Saturday here in Scotland. A little bit of rain. You can't really complain about that. It's the wind that really annoys us, but yeah, I'm indoors having a cozy weekend. Got the beanie on, got the tracksuit bottoms on, and there's football later on, and hopefully we win a little bit of money. Now, gamble responsibly. I always say that. But yeah, this week I have uncovered a lot of knowledge, a lot of things that I've come across. It's just blowing my mind, and I was joking to my partner about, maybe possibly getting a knock on my door because of the stuff that I've uncovered. For me, after this video, there should be no doubt in your mind that football in particular, I said earlier in the video, this applies to every sport. In my experience, I've seen it being coded, I've seen the numbers being used in all sports, but there should be no doubt in your mind after this video, if I've done a good job, that football teams, managers, players, score lines, goal scorers are all coded by the numbers. If you're new to this stuff, gematria and numerology are, I would call them ciphers, if you will, ways to decode the universe. And as I say, I stumbled upon a guy called Adam. He has a website called theillusion.com. He has a YouTube channel, The Illusion. Make sure you put in the. And he turned me on to this. Now, I was a bit more easy to accept what he was telling me, because if you've been following me for years, you'll know that I use gematria and symbology and all that kind of stuff, numerology in the conspiracies. It was almost like I would use that at the end after learning about the conspiracy and the facts and all that, and taking it all in, and then going back and finding the same old numbers appearing in these conspiracies. For example, 33, 47, 32, 22, 93, 9/11. These numbers are occult numbers. And don't take my word for it. Again, after you've watched this video, go and fact check me. I've always said that. Don't just take what I say as gospel. But for me, when I came across Adam and his website and his videos, it blew my mind. And I still, because when you're talking about it in regards to sports and how sports are rigged based on numbers, there's so many questions that arise from that. And I get it. For the last couple of years, I've been trying to convince my friends, people that I know online, about this, and I'm having some success. Then I'm also hitting brick walls. But as I say, after this video today, there should be no question that this is a factor in football. Again, just because I'm talking about football today, you can take this and apply it to any sport. So we'll get on with the video. I'd like to show you this website here, which is very handy, gematria.com. You can sign up, and I think the owner of the website does posts, talks regularly, does his own codes and things. So if you just want to read along, and it's not just in sports, this is worldly events, politics, disasters, history. This is it really does make you think. It makes you think, is the world coded? Is it scripted? Now, something that I'm not versed in, but I have heard is about the Torah, being the Jewish book, is a lot of numbers. The Bible in particular as well has a lot of numbers that appear. Jesus dying at 33. I think the number of vertebrae, or I think it is vertebrae, but also the number of bones in our body. Again, I should have stuck in school, but that number is in the Bible. It's just, it makes you think, like, not only in sports, and when you see someone, and I've developed this skill as well, where you can code a football player to score a goal, and that code could be so in depth, and it could be focused around a certain number, and then they score on that minute of the game. It just, like, I'm just hooked. I'm so hooked on it. I don't get everything right, by all means. This is, in my opinion, when a code doesn't hit, it's either that the coder has got something wrong, they've missed something, or that, what was I going to say? I mean, this is an energy-based thing, I think. I think that Vegas, i.e. the betting companies, I also think, for example, this year, January and February, I couldn't miss. Every code I put out, I couldn't miss. And then after February, I couldn't get one right, and it was so frustrating. And I get that a lot of people will be turned off by that when you're sending them a code and they put £5, £10 on the person to score, and they don't score, and they're thinking, this is a lot of bullshit and all that. And for those types of people, I'm not going to be derogatory, or I could be. I just think that they're obviously closed-minded to it. You're shattering the reality. They're fighting back. It's just like every other conspiracy. When you give someone some new information that rocks their world, there's an inner feeling that they want to, bite back against it. They don't want to know it. It scares them, and you see that in their face, their expressions. And I've got a bit of a wicked streak in me with that, where I'll like have conversations at work or with my friends, and you're almost pushing them to see how far they can go to defend what's ridiculous to defend, but it's just because it's their comfortable reality. And that's old saying, ignorance is bliss. There is a lot of truth to that. Some of the times I think, I wish I didn't know this stuff, because it is a burden. But in regards to this, there's the ability to change your own life, and I don't just mean by winning money, but seeing through the bullshit, basically, with the world events. And if you are of the opinion that gambling is a sin, and it probably is, and that's where I'm probably a hypocrite myself, but we all need money, especially in today's society. Extra little bit of money. And if you were always the type to gamble, like I was from the age of probably younger than I should have been. My granddad was a big gambler. He used to get me one of those, I don't know if they exist anymore, but the coupons you get in the Ladbrokes and that, where you tick a box and all that, and you pick your teams and you put the stake on. I was getting to do that when I was young, and it's been with me ever since. And my success rate of gambling was very low during those times until I come across this knowledge. So yeah, there's positives of learning this stuff, not just this stuff, but learning conspiracies in general. And I'm being a bit biased there, but I think after 2020, a lot of conspiracy theorists are, if you don't have one in your friend group, go and get one. That's what I'll say. Right, so gematrinator.com. Now, I will say there is an app called Date. I'll see if I can put it in the link in the bio. Basically, you need a date calculator. There are apps on Play Store or on your iPhone, whatever that's called. I haven't had an iPhone for a while, but basically, date. You want to calculate a date to a date, right? And you need to know that number. So this website does it perfectly, and it also gives you the which I'll go through. The date can be written multiple ways, as you know. How many days? So I've put in, I know this one for sure, I was going to code him today, but Kyogo Furuhashi, who signed for Birmingham, poor start, but I believe he may score today. So I know off the top of my head, because being a Celtic fan, he used to play for us, so I know that he was born on the 20th of January, and today's date is the 1st of November. So his distance between his birthday and today's date can be written as 9 months, 1 week and 5 days. It can also be written as 9 months and 12 days, 40 weeks and 5 days, and 285 days, sorry. And again, I'll probably make a video. This isn't what the video is about today. I'm just showing you how to use it. You can put in your own birthday to today and all that and learn. These are underneath are important too. These are the date numerology date numbers. So it's the 305th day of the year today. There are 60 days left. And this is, I kind of focus on the top 5. That's what I've been told by the guys that have been doing it for a long time. But you could incorporate them. This is what I'm saying. There is no expert in this. And that's probably why as well, when some codes don't hit, we've missed something. We don't know what's going on. Something might have flicked. We just don't know. And what I was saying earlier is with me hitting my codes January and February, and then after that having a really poor time of it. February has, we all know, a leap year. Some years it has 28 days, some days it has less. Is it 27, 28? That can screw up the whole thing, because as you see, if you can, and I think that's why someone's put this in, time between dates, which is really so I noticed here 40 weeks and 5 days, right? But if you click this box here, it puts up to 40 weeks and 6 days. Now people will say, skeptics again will say, oh, it's just a comfort zone. If you miss by a day and that, you can click this box. But the way to think about it is, if my birthday is tomorrow, you would say it's 1 day to my birthday, right? But my birthday is tomorrow. It's another day. So it's actually on the 2nd day. So that's what this button is doing. And again, I've heard it all before. I've got friends that, throw things at me and, you're just making it suit. But this, it would be like playing a game of Monopoly and saying when someone passes go, put £200 in the middle. You get £200, or I was thinking about the jail. But when you pass when you pass go and you get $200, and someone was to say, oh, you're just making that up. No, you don't get $200. You're just making that up. That is the rules of the game. So for someone to be a skeptic, you really need to learn about this stuff before you can say that. And that's not me being protected. I mean, it is, but it's like, you can't go criticizing the rules of the game unless you learn the game, and then you'll see why it's needed. So that's one that frustrates me, and I'm sure I'm just trying to help people that are maybe not understanding properly, or you might think I'm just trying to be all encompassing so that there's less room for error, but that's what that is. So topic of the video today stems from, I'm going to go into my folder that I've saved videos as, and this image here. So, for people that are into football in the UK, this has been the big story of the week, is Glasgow Celtic, my team, have parted ways with Brendan Rodgers. Remains to be seen, although the statement says he resigned. There's a lot of theories out there that he may have been sacked, and the statement came out from Dermot Desmond doesn't shine him in a good light. But this picture here appeared on my Twitter feed or X feed this week, and instantly, I mean, the caption in itself, the person that posted it let us into the little secret. But this is Simpsons shit. Like, you know how there's that theory about the Simpsons, it can predict the future. Now, I didn't do a conspiracy theory podcast on that, but what I will say is, and I probably have said this, it's been a while since I've been doing the podcast, but Matt Groening, the director of The Simpsons and also I think Futurama, was a high-level Freemason. And when you get to that sort of levels, it's not predicting the future, it's pre-programming. So he knows what the future will behold, because I think there are people, I know there are people running the world, pushing it into the utopian or dystopian, however you want to look at it, way of life. And they're putting in things into their episodes years in advance for you to get on board with, for you to be desensitized to. You'll be okay with it when it comes around. So that's what that is. And this, I was joking, I was like, this is Simpson shit. Because look, if you look, I believe this is from the 6-2 result when Martin O'Neill took over and we played Rangers in the third or fourth game this season, I think. We beat them 6-2. This is an image from that game where we clearly scored a goal. But if you look under Martin O'Neill's right knee, you see Sean Maloney with a baseball cap, and who's next to him? That is Mark Fotheringham. And lo and behold, this year, in the last week, Martin O'Neill, Sean Maloney and Mark Fotheringham have taken charge of the Celtic football team. So it's such a weird left field appointment. I had to look into it, and something urged me to look at the birthdays, because in the press conference, I was, I think in the 6-2 game, I was maybe 8-9 years of age, I think. I can't remember. I was a young boy. I do remember it vaguely, but Martin O'Neill jogged my memory. He gave Sean Maloney his debut, and he took Sean Maloney to Aston Villa. And it made me think about managers who do this, who take certain players with them to multiple clubs. And what is that? And obviously the partnership between Martin O'Neill and Sean Maloney is a weird one. Martin O'Neill's 73 years of age. He's been on TalkSport. He's been in the media a lot recently. Sean Maloney has been with the Belgian team. He's managed Hibs and Wigan. It's a very weird fit. But when you think about it in their play, well, and certainly in Sean Maloney's playing days and Martin O'Neill as a manager, they were connected. Martin O'Neill clearly likes Sean Maloney. And for this to happen this week, it is very strange. And obviously the way I'm programmed, the way I think now, critically, I will say, is I needed to know why. What I'll also show, here's another image here of the unveiling. Unveiling, another word I'll have to look into. Right, there is this video here. Now this is where we're going to get a bit into the whole occult. But it is of my belief that I'll see what happens here when I double click. I'll just pause it when it strikes up. So it is my belief that the Freemasons, there are other occults, but the Freemasons are heavily involved in football. If you go to The Illusion, Adam, as I say, The Illusion on YouTube, you'll see that. He does great videos on how the Freemasons created the English Premier League, and the number 33 appears quite often. I'm heavily into that stuff. I was, and I still am. I'm not a Mason, I will say that, but I'm heavily involved in learning about them, and I believe that the number 33 appears in a lot of these conspiracies because it's basically like a calling card. It's how you identify that the Masons did it or are involved in it. And I think this video here is very, very telling. In fact, someone that I talk to regularly messaged me after this press conference. I think this is the post-match from the game on Wednesday night against Falkirk. And this is Martin O'Neill telling you he's a Mason, in my opinion. That is what he's doing by saying the number 33 in this weird way. He is telling you that he's a Mason. So we'll watch that.
His goals like a proper centre forward, did really well. And so the physios told me that Maeda would get me about 35 minutes or something against him. How they've calculated 35 minutes is, well, it's things I have got to learn again, you know. And you know, and that's not against them. They're great. The physios are really good, but you know, I said to them, I'd just rather go for 33 minutes. But no, I wanted him.
Did you hear that? His physio told him that Daizan Maeda could only play for 35 minutes tonight. He's just back from injury. This new sports science stuff, it's insane. But they're basically calculating that 35 minutes is plenty for Daizan to bring him back. And Martin O'Neill jokes, I think we'll just play him for 33. Now he didn't. He played him for, I think it was 25 minutes. He played him for, but to me that is what Martin O'Neill's saying there. He's putting that number out there into the atmosphere as a way to say I'm a Mason, or the Masons are involved in my appointment, and I needed to put 33 into the atmosphere for all to see or to hear. Right, so that's that. How do we get out of here? Okay. So that led me to this. I went to Martin O'Neill's Wikipedia and I found out his birthday, which is, I've got it here written down. It is the March the 1st. We'll say 2025. And Maloney's is the 24th of January. So it would be 2026. Now, look at that. I mean, here we go. I should have, no, I'll convert it. I will convert it because I know that what's coming up here. 330 days. So there's your 33. Now, again, this is for the skeptics. They will say, no, it doesn't say 33, it says 330. But in gematria, the 0 has no value. It's 33 that is in your face. Like, that is the numeric value that's on that screen, is 33. 0 has no value. As it says, it's 0, right? And then also, just to be more clear, to more add insult to injury, there's the 47. I did have, I think you saw it in the folder, to show you, you've got, just for those that don't believe me, that don't know, but 33 is the highest level of Freemasonry. You've got multiple, I mean, I don't want you to just trust me here. You go on Google, do a Google search. You've got the highest level of Freemasonry is 33. The highest level of Scottish Rite Freemasonry is, I think it's 13. I could be getting that wrong. Could be the other way around. But 33 and 13 are the highest levels of the two types of Freemasonry, Scottish Rite and York Rite. So there you have it. On the compass, you have, this here is 47 degrees. So that's why they used 47, i.e. Donald Trump being the 47th president. We all knew that. And you've got the 47th problem of Euclid with the Freemasonry checkered flooring, the logo down there. That's why they have the checkered flooring in all their Masonic lodges, duality and all that. But yeah, just to show you that these numbers are occult numbers, not just me making them up saying that they are, right? So that's a clear connection, 47 and 330. Now you see I'm ticking the box there again. Either of those numbers would be enough to say, right, there's a clear Masonic connection between these two guys. And that would explain why Martin O'Neill's taken Sean Maloney to, Celtic. Well, he gave him his debut, and then he took him to Aston Villa with him, and now he's partnership, which is a weird partnership. I think everyone thinks that as well. It's just a weird connection there. But Yeah, that's that. So that made me then think about, all the weird combinations of managers who take the same player with them to multiple clubs, or the ones that are called club signings, or the weird, like, I mean, for us as Celtic fans, we've had some crazy marquee, they call them club signings or marquee signings over the years. We've had Freddie Ljungberg, Janino, Bellamy, players like that you just think, well, what's going on there? Albeit you get them at the end of their career, but yeah, it's just madness. So I have a collection of them here, and this is on Thursday night. I discovered this information, and I was like having kittens. I was like, what is going on? Everyone I typed in, I was getting 33. Another one is, again, probably great news for the critics, but the number 113. I think I'll go to the gematrinator. Calculator. Right, if you type in the word goal scorer, you will get 113. There we go. See, goal scorer has the value of 113, 50, 157, and 58. So when you're coding a player, that's what the numbers you're looking for to think, will they score a goal? Now, you need more than that. Sometimes that's all you need, but you need more than that. But this 113 is another way of saying, like, 11 times 3 is 33. You have, what else do you have? You have 311, which is, or for example, COVID was declared on the 11th of March. They used that 113. I've got multiple. I think if you go back to my Disney episode, the number 113 appears in so many Disney films. It's unreal. Toy Story, Monsters Inc., Up. I think it appears. It appears in a lot of these movies where you least expect it, maybe on a registration plate or on a picture hanging on the wall. But 113 is another occult number. They use that a lot. 32 and 33, the highest levels of Freemasonry, where they say you find out all the darker stuff. Very rarely do people get to that, but that's your Donald Trumps and all that. Another numbers are 22 master numbers, 11, 22 and 33. 9/11, we all know that date. 9/11's an occult number that gets used. 9 being, I think if you look up the meaning of the word 9, the number 9, and the meaning of the number 11, it basically translates to dark magic. So they'll use that quite often. But let's get into some more. I've got pictures to show you to come up with this. So we'll do Ange and Maeda. Now again, I think you can see the writing. Hopefully you can see the writing, but I've not just got Celtic based ones. But this was one that was everyone knew. Ange managed Yokohama Mariners, and a player that was there with him at the time was Daizan Maeda. Ange then became the Celtic manager, and one of his first signings in the January transfer window after he came in the summer was this man here, Daizan Maeda, who's went on to become, last season he was just unreal. The number 38 I could talk to you about, but we won't. We'll save that for another day. But that basically is the number of war, and it was very telling that his number was very, he was on fire last year with his blonde hair, which is another telltale sign. Look out for football players that dye their hair blonde and go in a scoring streak. But yeah, so I looked into their birthday connection, so we'll do that now. So you go back to tools, date calculator. Now I have, for quickness, I have Ange and Maeda's birthdays written down here. So I know off the top of my head that Maeda's is the 20th of October. We'll do 2025. And Ange's is the 27th of August. And so that would be 2026. And there you have it, 311. Right? We'll just go through them on the list. So this was a weird signing. Luke McCowan playing for Dundee. A lot of eyebrows were raised when we signed him. Was he good enough? I think he was 20. I think he's 26. Is he? Middle of his career, decent player, but a bit of a weird one. So, and a lot was made of that, and I do believe Brendan Rodgers in a press conference had said that it was a club signing. So there's the eyebrows being raised, the club signing. Why are they signing him? So let's look into Brendan and McCowan's date of birth, which I have written here. Sorry, I do know them off by heart. I don't have them here. It is, Brendan's is the 26th of January, and McCowan's is the 9th of December. Same year, 2025. No, sorry, 2025. And you have, there you go, 113. Again, you've got the 0, has no value, but you've got 113. That would be, if I was coding a player to score and I saw 10 months and 13 days, I'd be saying that there's the 113, good chance he'll score today. Right, we'll move on to another one. We'll do more we'll do the Celtic ones out the way, and then we'll get back to the other ones. So O'Neill and Juninho was a good one. Although he was world class, but he was at the end of his career. I wonder if he was 33 when he signed, because we're getting on to one who was, and the figure that we paid for him was as well. But Juninho didn't have a good time of it. Martin O'Neill actually recently said in a interview that, when asked who was your worst player that you've signed, and he said Juninho, because he was a dud, but made me think. So we'll go and do the birthdays. Now I do have these written, although I know Martin O'Neill's, Juninho's, right, so Martin O'Neill's is 1st of March, Juninho's is the 22nd of February. So you have 7 days. I think that's why I've got this one in there, because he wore 7. So there's why he was 7. It must be the other way around, I believe. We'll try that. 2/22 to March the 1st, and that would be 2026. 127. No, it must just have been the 7. Yeah, I mean 7 as well, another occult number. Yeah, it must have just been the 7 with him. The reason I've documented that one. It says here at the side, look, 1 and 7, 1 year, 7 days. Yeah, 17 equals goal. Although he didn't score any, I don't think. But yeah, so that'll be why I've put that in there. Right, who's next? Anyone that thinks of Gordon Strachan, if you're a Celtic fan, you think of Nakamura. Signed him left field. It was a weird signing, but boy was it a great signing. A lot of Celtic fans put him up there in the top 5 or 10 players that's ever played for the club. Unbelievable free kick against Man United, 2 in fact, but just a great player, great professional. Yeah, so we'll do them. That is, again, I've written them down. Strachan's is, so Nakamura's is 24th of June, 24th, and Strachan's is the 9th of February. And we'll tick the box, because I've noticed over at there you go, there's your 33 weeks. 33 weeks. So I'm still going, don't you worry, I've got all these players here. You've got Carlo Ancelotti and James Rodriguez. I believe there was 3 clubs. I know obviously 2 of them, Everton and Real Madrid, but there's a 3rd club, Bayern Munich. Did he bring James Rodriguez to Bayern Munich? But we'll do them just now. So I've got them written down as, Ancelotti's is the 10th of June. And Rodriguez is the 12th of July. 12th of July, 2025. And look, 33 days between their 2 birthdays. Are you getting the picture? you're seeing there's a connection between players and managers, and they bring them with them. Now, it doesn't happen very often, I don't think. Anyone that's watching the video, comment if you've got more for me. I've got Jose Mourinho and Carvajal. We'll do these just to show you, because I think that seeing is seeing is believing. Obviously, that's but seeing it in your own eyes. I could sit and talk here and tell you that these are, but when you see it in your face, I think it's stronger. It does that with me anyway. So, right, okay, we'll do Jose Carvajal. But what I was saying is, any players that you can think of, get them in the comment section and we can do them. Or if you want to reach out to me, I'll teach you how to do this if you're struggling. But it's just gematrinator.com. Find the tool and go to date calculator. Right, so we'll go to Jose Mourinho. He shares the same birthday as Brendan Rodgers, by the way. Jose Mourinho and Carvalho. So 126, same as Brendan Rodgers, and Carvalho is the 18th of May. There's your 113. Who's next? We've done Maeda, we've done Juninho. Rafa and Rondon. Now this is a great picture, because he's even showing you players that wear the number 33 are ones to watch out for. They will often hit codes with 113s and 911s, and whenever their code is surrounded on a date, like for example yesterday was a 113 day, it was the 31st of October, which is written as 10/31, sorry, 311 day, so it was 31/10, 311. So watch out for these players. Probably, in fact, most definitely Masons. But Rondon was taken to Rafa by 3 clubs as well. So we'll do their birthdays, which is, got them written down, is the 16th of September. And Rafa's is the 16th of April. And you have 30 weeks and 3 days. Look at that. Insane. Redknapp and Peter Crouch brought him to multiple clubs as well. We'll do theirs, which is, Crouch's is the 30th of January. And Redknapp's, I know, is the 2nd of March 2025. I think this is a 32 day we're having. A 32. This is not a number I need to look into. 44. I've noticed this number quite a lot with this research. But you've got 32 there. Now, I'm noticing obviously this date would cross over from the leap year. So possibly some years it would be 33 or 31. Could be wrong, but anyway, the 32 is good enough. As I showed you, 32 and level 32 and level 33 are considered the highest levels, where you find out the deeper, darker knowledge and all that stuff. So that's that one. What else do we have? Ten Hag and Anthony. Wow, did he bomb out it? And there you go. Like, that's what I'm saying. The some players come to clubs and they just don't work out, and they go to the next club and they're unbelievable, and that could be based on this stuff. So we'll do Ten Hag and Anthony, which is, Ten Hag's birthday is 2/2 and Anthony's birthday is 24/2. 2/24. And we'll do 25, obviously. So you've got 3 weeks and 2 days. 32. Any others? Did I do any more? Now there's multiple, and every one I did, I actually got someone to post in the betting chat channel I'm on Telegram. They put in a link to managers that have signed players, multiple clubs. I think I did. Redknapp's got a few. He's got Defoe, He's got Crouch. He has Nico Krankiar. And from my memory, I don't have their dates here. Obviously, I know Red Nuts, but Krankiar and Mourinho and Matic, that's another one. But every one I typed in, I was getting these numbers. Where's the 911 one? I did have a 911. Because that one was insane. Can't remember. We'll get back to that anyway. But there's clearly something with this. And another thing that made me into, and something that's really frustrated me recently, is my team Celtic. Obviously, the same certain player. There's one player for Celtic that seems to always drop out with a mysterious niggly injury for a big important game, and will lose or drop points, draw or lose, and then they'll come back and play the next game. And that player is Cameron Carter-Vickers. And I just wondered, I mean, the duration between Brendan Rodgers and Carter-Vickers was 3 weeks and 5 days. Carter-Vickers is the Hogmanay birthday, and obviously Brendan Rodgers being the 26th of January, I think it's 3 weeks and 5 days. Now 35, goal equals 35, I'll show you that now. I've been doing this so long, I just know the numeric value of certain numbers, certain words, but there you go, 3-5. So, and the other one is 44, I just showed you there, 44, that's another number. The only word that I know has the value of 44 is the word kill. Don't know how that relates to football, but interesting stuff. Again, if I'm jogging your memory of your football team and how you feel like a certain player always has a niggly injury or an illness. Again, Celtic fan, but I coded Ant-Man to score last week for Rangers against Kilmarnock, and when I looked at the team lineup, wasn't even on the bench. Now he's played most of their games. I think he's either started most of them, and he's at the very least he's been on the bench and came on, and he had a niggly, he had an illness, a cold or a flu, and that's what I'm saying. I think a lot of these managers know about this stuff. The elite ones, they're putting that brand on them, the elite managers, they'll know this stuff. They'll be Masons, they'll know about gematria and numerology, and they will be managing their team based on the numbers. So yeah, anything else? I did want to touch upon this guy, because this was a great, do I have a picture of him? I don't, but it is, in fact I can go to the internet, we'll Google him. Lubomir Moravcik. And I've got a funny story. There we go, because I've already typed it in. But the number 330,000 was the transfer fee for Celtic Football Club paid to Duisburg to sign Lubomir Moravcik in October 1998. The transfer is widely considered one of the greatest bargains in Scottish football history, although Moravcik was 33 years old at the time. Now, I've got a funny story about this. I doubt you definitely won't be watching, but my stepdad at the time, Liverpool fan, he was from Wales, hated Scottish football, a lot of people do. The night we signed Moravcik, he came through to the kitchen. I remember it vividly, one of my most vivid memories, and he come through and he said, Celtic's just signed a 33-year-old old man. He'll be picking up his pension soon and all that. And it really got to me. That's probably why it still sticks in my mind. But he went on to become an unbelievable player. I'd love to bump into. Well, it was my stepdad. No longer my stepdad. But it'd be funny to have a beer with him and talk about these things. And we even went on to knock Liverpool out of the UEFA Cup at the time. It was called, on our way to Seville. We'd love to bump into him. But he went on to become an unbelievable player for, I think, 3 or 4 seasons, scoring many goals, partnership with Larsson, and signed for 330,000. And so I had to look into his dates. Although Venglos signed him, it was Martin O'Neill that basically got the best out of him. And I did look up, I actually don't have the dates, do I? No, I don't. I could get them up. But he was also named the a gift from God. That was his nickname. And I just find these things, I think they're undeniable for me. When you see a manager signing a player, taking him with him, and you're seeing the same number. So Harry Redknapp's doing it, Jose Mourinho's doing it, Brendan Rodgers doing it, Ange is doing it. Many managers have done it. And when the same couple of men, obviously, are signing and connecting to each other via the number 33 or 113 or 311, there has to be eyes opened. Has to be. And they often end up being their best player, scoring many goals, whatever, and just being like a lucky charm. And if you watch my last video with Jota, you'll see that these numbers that players are wearing on their back, the numbers, their birthdays, and how they relate to today's date, the game day, it's undeniable. It really is. Now, for skeptics that are just not interested and don't want to have their world view shattered, that's fair enough. You can be skeptics and all that. I really don't mind. I'm into flat earth. You know that if you've been following me for years and you've listened to my podcast. I've got very thick skin. But don't critique this gematria, ancient Jewish language that's a real thing and has real parameters and ways to do it if you don't know about it. Like it's just anyway. I hope you've enjoyed this. I'm a bit rusty. I'm glad that I've managed to work out how to get on YouTube Live. I might end up doing this more often, maybe even jumping on for a half an hour on a Friday or a Saturday to show you how to code a goal scorer, and we'll see how that goes. See if we can build up a little bit of a community. But in the meantime, I suggest following The Illusion on YouTube. There are many people out there that are doing this on a daily basis. Most of them do charge, and I don't blame them. I've always said that with the podcasters and things. If you're putting in solid effort during the week, taking notes, screenshots, reading, watching videos, putting your time and effort into learning and then spreading your knowledge, you shouldn't care about, a £10 a month fee or whatever. It's a price less. People will buy coffees at £4, £5 from Costa and Starbucks. So don't feel guilty. I'm not at that level yet. Whether I do even want to, I don't know. But I'd love for more people to get involved. The more heads, the better. Always feel that if someone was willing to reach out and ask for me to learn them this whole way and how you can code a goal scorer a weekend, or it's harder to code like who's going to win the game. That is something that I have done very rarely. It is a lot harder. But feel free to reach out. Type it in the comments section. If you've got any questions or examples that you want me to explore about football players and managers and teams, I'll do that. You know where to find me. I've got an Instagram I hardly use, but if you was to message me, I'd get the notification. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you take this on board. If you're a gambler, I'm sure you probably will. You'll want to know a bit more. But yeah, I've enjoyed being back. Although I'll take a sip. My throat is. I haven't spoken this long in such a long time. But yeah, I'm slowly getting back into it. I've got a podcast tonight. I've been rekindling the relationship between myself and Solid Blue Sister from Friendly Differences. I've been on the show numerous times in the last few months. Saturday nights are sometimes free for me, and I'll jump on and talk. Tonight we are doing a show on the Jewish question, something that I was really excited when Solid Blue reached out and said, I would like to learn a bit more because of what's going on in the world. And it's a touchy subject, one that we definitely couldn't have done years ago. Even I couldn't. But now it seems that that's a bit more accepted and people are opening their eyes to what's going on. So that should be good. That kicks off at 8 o'clock tonight. So if you want to join us for that. I've also been propositioned with Thomas from Friendly Differences as one of the co-hosts. Has a radio station called Ghost Productions Radio GPR. PCR. If you type that into YouTube, he has a radio station that runs all through the day, all through the night, and he's offered me a slot. Don't know if I'll take him up on it. I appreciate and I like that they offered me that. It's just what to do. I'm not a riffer. I need some, like I did today. This was a bit of a struggle, jumping from page to page, but I'll get into it. But yeah, I'm not too sure what I'll do there. I did like the idea. I was saying to Solid, liking the idea of spreading good news. I feel like our world is missing a lot of that. So maybe collaging some stories about a man saved a woman, and a woman, a black person saved a white person, and or this person won a lot of money, or just spreading some good, happy. I saw one there. A black man dived into a burning building and saved a family of 5. Stuff like that can like excite the population, make people not hate each other as much. Don't fall for the crap that the media are putting on us. That could be good. Just how much I can talk about it. It's a thought. It's a commitment as well, which I don't know, but we'll see. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this. And I'll probably start coming back on maybe on a Saturday when my partner's at work, before when the team lineups come up, and we can go through a code and we can see how we get on there. But I hope you've enjoyed it, and get your comments in, like, follow, subscribe, whatever, all that kind of stuff. And till next time, take care of yourself, and I'll talk to you soon. Goodbye.